the Jets. So we go.
Suit yourself.
All right, starting with the New York Jets. Uh, they got a first year head coach, um, Robert Salah. He comes from San Francisco. I like the hire. He's a great leader of men. He has a really good, extensive coaching background. He was coaching the linebackers in the Legion of Boom. He knows his stuff. So I think he's the leadership and culture change they need. Offense. Zach Wilson selected second overall. Um, Jets and quarterbacks. They just. I'm gonna say a Biggie lyric, right? So Jets and quarterbacks. Um, me and my wife were talking about this the other day. Scott Disick said it. So Jets and quarterbacks are like two dicks with no bitch. Find yourself in serious shit. Excuse me, I'm gonna bleep that out. But like, it's just like they can't hit on the quarterback position, and it's been a long, long, long time. I mean, I think the best quarterback they had, maybe Chad Pennington, who I liked. He was a decent starter, but that was a long time ago. So we'll see. The running back position, they got Tevin Coleman. I mean, he's okay, but they got Michael Carter, who a lot of people liked in the draft. He comes from Carolina. Craig has on his Carolina blue. So I think he's going to get some reps and start in the backfield. Offensive line, Mikael Becton. They also drafted Veer Tucker. So Joe Douglas came. The GM is big on the trenches, and my dad said a while ago that's how you actually win NFL games. Offensive, defensive lines, they matter so much. And they don't get the recognition they should have. Also, let's see, the tight end, Chris Herndon. It's okay, not a household name. The receiving core, so they added Corey Davis from the Titans and Jamison Crowder, but Elijah Moore and Zach Wilson are having an early connection in camp, which is good because they both got drafted together. So it's good if they build a rapport with each other. Defensive line. Now defense is like you got the defensive line is stacked. You got Sheldon Richardson, Vinny Curry, Carl Lawson, Quentin Williams. I mean that's a good front four. Linebacker, of course, C.J. Mosley, but the thing with Mosley is he needs to stay healthy. And then same with Gerard Davis. He came from Detroit. The defensive backfield is young, and they're going to be tested all season long. Marcus May is good because he's the quality who they have on the back end, but he's going to have a long season. Because if you don't have two good corners, that's a lot of tackles for safeties. And safeties shouldn't have a lot of tackles unless you're in a box. My overall prediction, the Jets, they have a good young team with a lot of talent. Coach Salah is the best coach for the job. I think they just need time together. Zach Wilson, he just needs time. So I think they do improve this year. I think they go 6-11. All right. Go ahead, Craig.
Okay. Robert Salah. I think he's a solid up and coming coach. He had one of the normal press conferences for new coaches, so I'm here for that. Former defensive coordinator from the 49ers, so he's been around really good defensive players, and like he's had really good defensive teams. So I think he's going to have his work cut out for him, but if he can mold this defense into what the 49ers not really were, but kind of close, or get them at least halfway there, or a little bit more than halfway there, I think they're going to be a solid team in the future. But right now it's just he's got this team, man, is all over the place. I like Zach Wilson. He could have a really good rookie season. I don't really have like too many high expectations for him, just because, like you said, the Jets' history of quarterbacks. Although this is a new unit basically. Man, it's something to be said, man, about like the history of certain teams and how they draft and what like. So I really don't know, man. Like I'm pulling for Zach Wilson. Um, he had high expectations coming out, and he kind of shot up the draft board, shot up right past Trey Lance and Justin Fields. So the Jets were high on him. So I hope they made the best decision for them, and the best decision for that franchise, because New York is they're just, I mean, New York fans and they so many high expectations when you're playing in New York, even though they're not playing for the bigger team and the Giants. They're still in New York, man. It's just the expectations are just out of control. So Zach Wilson's going to have his work cut out for him, but I think he can probably have a decent season. He's really throwing to nobodies again, like middle of the road guys. Corey Davis, like you said, he's not really a number one. Jameson Crowder had a solid season last year. He's not a number one anymore, or he's not number one at all. Denzel Mims is there. I think Elijah Moore is probably going to be that guy to break out, even though he's kind of a short guy, and most people think of him as a speedy slant guy, maybe out of the slot. But I hope that he can get that connection with Zach Wilson coming out for this upcoming season. Chris Herndon, he's a probably bottom tier tight end, but he could be a reliable target for Wilson. The backfield looks a little iffy. I don't know, man. I like the Carter, obviously. I like the Carter draft pick. I don't know if he's probably not going to start right away. They still got P. Ryan there. They signed Tevin Coleman. So, I don't know what is to expect is to be expected out of this unit. I don't really expect much. They haven't, even with the team they had last year, like they didn't have, it seemed like they just make bad decisions ever since Curtis Martin, to me, has left that team. Like there hasn't been really any good running back for the Jets franchise. Maybe Carter can be that guy. Maybe he can step up, and because Le'Veon Bell he wasn't it, and running backs before him so I'm not really high on the running backs, but I really am hoping that Carter can break out and be, if not this year, maybe going into next year, be that starter that they're looking for. Offensive line it's not terrible, but it's kind of bottom tier as well. I think Morgan Moses is really good. He played for the Washington football team. I think he can be a veteran guy on that team to help lead that team. They got Vera Tucker, rookie. So I thought that was a really good draft pick. And he's going to have to rub off on the young rookie coming out of college. So hopefully he can do that. It's just going to be tough, man. Like they gotta have to try to keep Zach Wilson upright. They were kind of bottom tier last year. They probably improved with some of these moves. Mika Becton, I don't know how you say his name. He's there. Like some of these guys, man, it's going to be tough, man. But I think they're going in the right direction, basically. If it's not going to be this year, maybe, like I said, if the unit can stay together and just gel and grow, maybe next year. Quentin Williams on the defensive side, I think he's a really solid defensive lineman. Up and coming, he should be. I think he's one of the top tier defensive linemen. He's still young. He's still got time to make his mark on this league. So, I think the Jets have I think their strength is their defensive line. The rest of the unit, the secondary and the linebackers, they're going to get torched this year. And it comes with the territory, man. You got a young group. I think they're going to go through a lot of learning curves, a lot of ups and downs, mostly downs. And I just don't, unless the defensive line can get pressure on the opposing offensive line, this secondary and this linebacker group, man, are going to have a tough time, I think, guarding anybody. So I personally don't see a lot of wins for this team. But I am going to say, I'm going to say 5-12. I'm going to say 5-12. I think that that might be pushing it, but I'm going 5-12.
Okay.
Ooh.
Corey.
I don't even know about that.
Got to start off by calling out Craig for besmirching the immortal one, Frank Gore, at the running back position for the Jets last year.
You're right. I forgot he was there. Yeah, dang, I forgot about Frank. He's been there so long.
It was a forgettable season. So yeah, for the Jets, starts with the coaching, and TBD. Obviously, any first year head coach, who knows? But early word is that Robert Salah is the real deal. It sounds like the players love him. It sounds like they're buying in. But we'll also see if that holds over the course of the year. I'll get into it a little bit, but I do expect it to be a long year for the Jets, so that can be a real big test for a young coach and a first-time head coach. But no matter what, he's absolutely an upgrade to Adam Gase, because Adam Gase is just an atrocious head coach, and I have no idea what the Jets were doing or why they brought him back for a second year, or how much of his salary he gave to Peyton Manning to help him keep getting jobs. For the offense, I like Zach Wilson. Once Andrew Luck retired, Colt Splitter started focusing on a quarterback coming out each year. Last season, it was Zach Wilson out of BYU. So I tried to watch as many BYU games as I could last year. It ended up being a handful. He can make those off-script plays. He's really good at that. He's solid throwing from the pocket. He's got a strong arm. Going from an independent BYU to the NFL will be a little bit of a jump. He didn't always have the most consistent competition in college, but I'm excited to see what he can do. I think they made the right move, moving on from Sam Darnold. Combination of resetting that rookie contract, because as we've seen, winning a Super Bowl with a quarterback on a rookie deal is kind of important of late. Combined with how much did Adam Gase ruin Sam Darnold. They did work on their line. Mekhi Becton last year was really good. He's a legit franchise left tackle. Drafting Vera Tucker, bring in Moses. They at least addressed it, so it should be better than last year. The wide receiver depth, as you guys said, not great. Denzel Mims is already reportedly having problems and having a rough start to camp. So much so that Robert Saleh was asked if Mims was on the roster bubble. It's Jamison Crowder is a really solid slot wide receiver, but he's not a guy that you want to end up maybe being your number one target. Honestly, I think him and Corey Davis are pretty comparable. I know the Jets probably wanted to get somebody to help their rookie quarterback have someone to throw to, but Davis hasn't lived up to top 15 draft pick status, and he's okay. I think it puts a lot of pressure on Moore to contribute early, which is just not an expectation that teams should have for wide receivers. Historically, wide receivers don't contribute a ton in their first year. The last 2 years have been anomalies because you've had historic level wide receiver class. So I think it's putting a lot of pressure on Elijah Moore. The backfield is whatever. Tevin Coleman, Carter, P. Ryan. Nobody's really jumping off the page to scare anyone. It'll be by committee. And I'll say, screw Chris Herndon, mostly because he has killed me 2 years in a row in fantasy, waiting for him to be that breakout guy. And it never happened. So, not the best reason to say it, but I'm still a little bitter. Defensively, they've got some guys on that defense. I like the addition of Carl Lawson. They've got a decent safety duo. Sheldon Rankins is solid. We'll see if CJ Mosley can ever earn a penny of what the Jets have paid him so far. But at a bare minimum, the unit will be much improved. But I also think that the offense could end up being bad enough that it's going to put that defense in a lot of bad positions, keep them on the field a lot. So even if they are playing well, they're just going to get wore down. especially with Wilson having a late start to camp and everything. I think the offense will probably be slow to get it going. Overall, it's going to be a long year for the Jets. This is another team that had a lot of holes, too many holes for them to be able to fill in one off season. And I said the late start to camp for Wilson puts him a little bit behind. And the key for them isn't going. This season isn't judged by wins and losses for the Jets.
Yeah.
For them, the key is going to be if Robert Saleh can keep that locker room, win this season when they're struggling, when it's a long year, and keep them playing hard and playing at least competitive football at the end of the season. And because that's something for a team that's going to be that bad, that's something you can build on moving forward.
Yep.
So we'll see, but I have them at 3-14, and I think they could be competing towards the first pick.
Hey, first pick. Man. Dang. Craig, you had him at 3-14. No, you had a 5-12, right?
Yeah, I got them at 5-12.
I mean, that's
I think I'm a lot more down on them than you guys.
yeah.